Everyone is talking about AI, every headline, every podcast, every YouTube thumbnail. But here's the uncomfortable truth: by the time an AI stock is obvious, by the time it's a $1 trillion company, by the time everyone agrees it's safe, the real money has already been made. Palantir didn't look obvious in the early days, it looked boring. Government contracts, enterprise data, long sales cycles, and that's exactly why most people ignored it. The next Palantir won't be loud, it won't be flashy, it won't be trending on social media, it will be small, it will be misunderstood, and it will be deeply embedded in systems that cannot fail. That's what we're talking about today. Four small AI companies. Most people aren't watching them, most portfolios don't own them, and yet they are quietly positioning themselves inside mission critical infrastructure. Let's start with the first one. This is a company that isn't building AI features, it's replacing the digital nervous system of commerce. Resolve AI, what makes Resolve interesting is not hype, it's deployment. Most AI companies are still stuck in pilots, testing environments, proofs of concept. Resolve has crossed that line. It is moving into full live enterprise production globally. When a company replaces the discovery layer of a retail platform, that's not a feature, that's infrastructure. Resolve's AI allows consumers to interact naturally through conversation, intent, and even images instead of outdated keyword search. And when customers change behavior, companies don't rip that system out. That's the Palantir parallel. Once embedded, switching costs explode. Retailers aren't experimenting anymore, they're rolling this out across regions, and that matters because production deployments mean recurring revenue, real revenue, sticky revenue. Financially, Resolve is showing early signs of inflection. Revenue guidance is rising, recurring revenue targets are aggressive, and management has already signaled a move toward profitability. The stock has moved, but it's still far from pricing in what happens if this becomes standard infrastructure across commerce. This is not a consumer AI play, this is a system of record AI play, and those are the ones that compound quietly. Now let's move to the second company. This one operates almost entirely outside the spotlight, but it sits exactly where governments and enterprises are spending aggressively. Veritone, here's the key idea: most of the world's data is not clean text, it's audio, video, sensors, drones, live feeds, and that data is useless unless you can process it in real time, secure it, and retrieve it later. Veritone doesn't sell an AI tool, it sells an AI operating system, one platform that orchestrates multiple AI models across unstructured data types. That's a huge distinction. This is the same strategy Palantir used, owning the data pipeline, not just analytics. And recently, Veritone took a major step forward. It partnered with an edge computing company to create a full edge to enterprise intelligence fabric. Translation: AI that works in disconnected environments, low bandwidth, high risk, mission critical conditions. That's national security, public safety, disaster response. This is not optional software, this is it must work software, and those contracts tend to be long term. Revenue is growing, losses still exist, but the direction is clear. This is a leveraged bet on AI infrastructure where reliability matters more than hype. Now let's take it even further off the planet. The third company operates at the intersection of AAA space and defense, Sidus Space. This is not a traditional space company. It's vertically integrated. It builds satellites, launches them, operates them, and monetizes the data using AI. The key is onboard processing. Instead of sending raw data back to Earth, Sidus uses AI at the edge in orbit to process data immediately. That's faster insights, lower bandwidth needs, higher value intelligence, and governments are paying attention. Sidus recently became eligible to compete for massive defense programs tied to missile defense and homeland security. That doesn't mean billions tomorrow, it means optionality, it means credibility, it means a seat at the table. The company has also improved its balance sheet, extending its runway and pivoting toward higher margin AI data services instead of low margin legacy work. This is high risk, but it's also asymmetric. When AI, defense, and space converge, winners don't need many contracts to move the needle. And finally, the fourth company, this one is already getting attention: Red Cat Holdings. Unlike the others, Red Cat isn't under $5, but it might have the strongest near term catalyst. Red Cat builds AI enabled drones and robotic systems for defense and public safety. And the timing could not be better. Military spending is rising. Regulators are pushing agencies away from Chinese hardware. Domestic suppliers are being prioritized. Red Cat doesn't just sell drones, it sells integrated systems, hardware, autonomy software, and AAI built specifically for US defense use. That matters. Defense agencies don't want consumer drones, they want secure, rugged, mission ready platforms. Revenue is ramping fast, guidance is rising, And this company is transitioning from speculative to operational. That's the inflection point most investors miss. So, what ties all four of these together? They are not building apps, they are embedding AI into systems where failure is not an option. Commerce, security, defense, infrastructure, that's where Palantir won. And that's where the next generation of AI winners will likely come from. Not from the loudest names, but from the deepest integrations. These are not safe bets. They are not guaranteed winners, but they are exactly the kind of companies that quietly compound while the market chases the obvious trades. And in markets like this, that's where the real opportunity usually lives.